Maintaining your yard will be easier than ever with one of the best string trimmers designed to trim the long grass and weeds at the edge of your patio, fence, or sidewalks. These handy tools provide an easy way to tidy your yard without worrying about back pain or chemical damage. There are three main types of string trimmers: gas-powered, corded electric, and battery-powered. While gas-powered models are the most powerful, they are also the most expensive. Battery-powered models offer you the freedom to trim without a nearby power socket. Although they have a limited runtime, meanwhile, corded electric models often strike a good balance between power and expense, although they're best kept for small or medium-sized yards. The Black Plus Decker LST 525 is a lightweight, user-friendly lawn trimmer built to do a great job trimming long grass and relatively soft weeds in small to medium lawns and yards. An equivalent model called the Black Plus Decker STC 1820 PC. The LST 525 is a cordless lawn trimmer running off an 18V lithium-ion battery, a compatible 2.0 Black Plus Decker battery is bundled in with the trimmer, and a charger plugs straight into a household power socket. The tool's cordless design is great for convenient handling, but not for reliable runtime. To increase the duration of your trimming sessions, you could always purchase an additional Black Plus Decker 18V battery whenever the other battery runs out. As soon as we took the Black Plus Decker LST 525 out of its packaging, which is almost 100% recyclable, we got a sense that this is a high-quality, thoughtfully designed line trimmer. When you pick it up, you'll notice how lightweight the tool is. At just 2.6 kilograms, the LSTE 525 would be a superb choice of line trimmer for users who prefer not to haul heavy equipment around their gardens. This being a Black Plus Decker product, it's no surprise that the LSTE 525 comes in the brand's classic orange and black colorway. Most of the trimmer's components are tough, lightweight plastic, although the brushed metal shaft is one exception. Overall, this string trimmer is a pleasure to use. The ergonomics are on point, especially on the handle and trigger, which are molded from soft, somewhat rubbery textured plastic. There is a choice of two trimming speeds: a faster, more powerful turbo mode and a slower eco mode, which is all about conserving battery power. You can conveniently toggle between the two speeds using a switch at the top of the tool's handle. In our hands-on testing, the Black Plus Decker LST 525's first task was to trim some weeds sprouting up in cracks between paving around the yard. The trimmer made light work of cutting most weeds, although for very thick weeds, we would have been better off using a trimmer with a heavy-duty line HDL attachment, such as the Black Plus Decker GH3000. The compact trimming head of the LSTE 525 made it easy to target individual weeds in hard-to-reach places. The LSTE 525 shone when we used it to trim wider areas of long grass and weeds. In one such patch, around the base of a tree, the trimmer successfully cut down a large proportion of grass and weeds, leaving the area looking much smarter and less overgrown. Using the trimmer's guard as a guide, we were able to trim close to obstacles such as trees, fencing, and lawn boundaries. Regarding storage, you couldn't hope for a more convenient and compact line trimmer than the LSTE 525. With the telescopic shaft retracted to its shortest extent, the tool takes up very little space in the garage or garden shed, and since there's no power cord, there's no risk of the tool getting tangled up with other pieces of equipment. It may be a small and friendly tool, but the LSTE 525 is just as effective as most higher-powered, premium line trimmers provided. You use it for modest tasks around a domestic garden. Looking for a straightforward solution to keep long grass in check? If so, the Black Plus Decker GH3000 lawn trimmer could be your ideal choice. With a 33 centimeters cutting diameter and 700 W of electric trimming power, this model is more than a match for tidying around medium-sized lawns. Despite its affordable price point, the Black Plus Decker GH3000 has some excellent features and accessories. These include a wheel edge guide for accurate lawn edging, eDrive, which is Black Plus Decker's high-torque gear system, and an adjustable auxiliary handle to help you get the perfect grip, whether you're trimming horizontally or vertically, high or low. The shaft can switch positions to suit either trimming or edging applications. This lawn trimmer runs off household mains power, so you don't need to worry about battery charging or runtime. With that said, you should bear in mind that you'll need a power source close to the garden area in order to use the lawn trimmer with its 10-meter cord. The Black Plus Decker GH3000 made a great first impression on our reviewer when it arrived in its space-efficient, fully recyclable packaging. Inside the box, the components looked smart and well-built. Setting up this line trimmer is pretty straightforward. However, the product isn't exactly plug in and play, as there are a few components you'll need to assemble before use. Whichever side of the pond you're on, you can purchase the powerful and get some change from 100 note. This places the somewhere towards the higher end of the affordable electric line trimmer spectrum. For a gas-powered or premium electric alternative, you'd be looking at paying double price tag. As you'd expect, it looks great and is robustly built. The trigger is smooth and responsive, and we found the components smooth and easy on the hand, although you should wear gloves while you're actually trimming, as well as goggles. We were also happy to note that it is not too heavy, with a nicely balanced weight distribution that makes for easy mowing. Other key features include the trimmer's adjustable shaft, which can be retracted, extended, and rotated to suit the required cutting position, and the guide wheel next to the guard, which you can push along the ground during edging single speed, although you can manually influence the line speed by feathering the trigger. Using the Black Plus Decker GH3000 lawn trimmer is nice and easy, provided the tool is set up and used correctly. Before you start trimming, think carefully about which orientation you want the shaft to be in, as this will greatly affect performance. You should also take care to select the most suitable trimming line and spool cap for the task at hand. I found it easy to trim really precisely with the GH3000. In one area, we wanted to cut down most of a patch of weeds, while leaving some lovely tall daisies standing in the middle of the patch. Using the trimmer's guard as a guide, and with the HDL attachments in place, we were able to achieve the desired result. Be sure to follow the instruction manual's advice and trim with the head of the trimmer at a slightly raised angle. The manual states 20 degrees. This will minimize contact between the trimming line and the ground. Remember, it's difficult to use a tool of this type over bumpy areas, as you'll risk catching the ground and quickly wearing away the trimming line. A corded electric trimmer like this one can be more convenient than a cordless model, as you don't have to worry about the battery running out and charging it up. It's a battery-powered string trimmer that can fit a brush cutter attachment. Attachment makes switching between a string trimmer and a brush cutter attachment so simple and quick. With a 60V battery, you'll be surprised by how long this tool lasts on a single charge. Perhaps it doesn't have the amount of power a gas-powered tool would. Pros points are battery-powered. Switch between attachment in seconds. Powerful bump string trimmer and brush butter can easily cut through 1-inch brush. Cons point is, its brush cutter attachment wasn't always secure. It's possibly the most efficient and high-quality multi-use gardening tool that's powered by a battery. I was a little skeptical that a battery-powered tool would have the kind of power needed to cut brush, much less anything that was over 1 inch. But the DeWalt proved me wrong, since it's lighter than gas-powered string trimmers or brush cutters. It's easier on the arms and shoulders. In addition to a simple startup, this gardening tool comes with a string trimmer with a bump head and the option to order an additional brush cutter attachment. The 8-inch brush cutter blade does a decent job with cutting brush and vegetation. While it did better on vegetation that was 1 inch or smaller, we were able to cut through some trees that were 1.25 inches in diameter. Within the string trimmer kit box, I found the tool broken down in a few pieces. There was the part of the shaft that holds the battery, the string trimmer attachment, a handle, guard, and battery. In the brush cutter attachment box was another handle, a shoulder strap, and the brush cutter attachment. As a battery-powered tool, it was a lot quicker and easier to put this DeWalt string trimmer together than it would have been if it were gas-powered. The DeWalt 60V Max 17 in brushless attachment, capable string trimmer kit plus brush cutter is available through the DeWalt website or Amazon Acme Tools, the Home Depot, and other outlets. It comes in 2 parts. The string trimmer kit is $329 at full price, though you can find it on sale for $250, $280 at various outlets. Once you have the main tool, you can fit the kit with different attachments, such as the brush cutter attachment, which is $79.99. It can also be fitted with hedge trimmer, pole saw, edger, and blower attachment. The only drawback to this quick snap design becomes apparent while using the brush cutter attachment. There were a few times when the button that is supposed to hold the poles in place depressed on its own, and the attachment spun to a different position while I was cutting. This is a bit of a safety hazard in my opinion. It only seemed to happen if I tried to cut a very large branch, over 1 inch, and I had to use some force to cut through. Ideally, the attachment should not move for any reason while you're cutting. The only thing I can say is to be very careful cutting anything over 1 inch in diameter. During the testing period, I decided to use the string trimmer attachment first. It did a great job cutting through thick weeds, tall grasses, and some small vines that are in my yard. I had to be careful when using it at full throttle, because often the line would throw little rocks and pebbles around and hit me in the shins or arms. It's that powerful. Getting more line out was very simple with the bump head. Prior to testing the brush cutter attachment, I'd already used the string trimmer on 2 separate occasions for about 15 minutes each, and the battery hadn't yet died. I didn't have to charge the battery until after my first brush cutting testing, which was about another 20 minutes. In terms of the brush cutter, it did slightly better than I expected. The 8-inch diameter of the blade isn't unusual, but I definitely would have preferred it to be 10 inches. I used the brush cutter on a good-sized thicket in my yard. Think small trees, shrubs, and lots of thick vines with thorns.